I like how we get to do this across from Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, we were saying earlier, how long is it going to be until they have fancy flats there, fancy apartments?
I know. They'll get there eventually. I mean,
It's a nice scenery, isn't it?
look at that thing. That is. I bet you there are so many ghosts in there.
How are
Super
you?
cool.
Did you just travelled in or?
I got in. What's today? Saturday.
Yes.
I got in Thursday, and I've not been sleeping properly at all. Like I'm sleeping fine for LA time,
Yeah.
but man, I tell you what,
It's horrible, isn't it?
not for here. It's just not enough time to get used to the sleep schedule. I mean, I went to bed at 8 a.m. Or 6, no, 6, 7, 7 today, 7 a.m. I mean, I was laying in bed for like 4 hours. It's just,
Just trying to see.
and then I was like, okay, I'll watch some Netflix or something. But I just, my brain's going, and
However you try to sort of sleep on the plane, it never works.
yeah, I mean, on planes, I can sleep great.
Can you?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I can sleep fine. It's yeah, it's just getting used to. I mean, it's because it's an 8-hour difference,
Yeah.
so that's tough. So I mean, I'll be sleepy tonight. I'm sure. I'm gonna take a sleeping pill tonight. I've never taken them before, but I'm like, I can't do this again. I have to get some sleep. So the person, like, someone's like, oh, I have Lunesta. I'll just give you some sleeping pills, and they're like, I would suggest one for you. Like, they want to give me two, and I'm like, let's start with one. Let's start with one. Let's see. But no, the convention is it's going well. It's great. Yeah.
Have you been down to the floor?
Yeah, I started signing yesterday. So I've been around. I bought some stuff yesterday for sure. I got that covered. I found this awesome, like, limited edition San Diego Comic-Con thing that was available here. It's like limited. Like, there are only 1,100 of these Batman things, and I got number 1049 yesterday. So I'm like, oh man, now I got to figure out how to get it home because I think I just have to carry it, and which is like, oh, damn it, I don't want to like carry one thing, but I'll do it. It'll be cool.
How
As,
many other Comic Cons have you been to? Have you been to around the world?
I have been to 160 conventions. It's a lot of it's a lot of cons, a lot of traveling. I fly about 120,000 miles a year. It's it can be tiring. It's pretty much the only time I can like sit and do emails. Like, I'll do emails that are like time sensitive, but like to get back to like all of them, if you get an email from me, it's I'm on a plane because I can't go anywhere. So,
Did you get Wi-Fi on the plane?
oh yeah,
Is it?
I have a subscription.
Really?
I have a monthly subscription to get unlimited Wi-Fi on flights. Um, I would prefer not to have that, but I need it. I got to do it. So, keep up to date on Twitter, you know. So yeah.
We'll kick it off with just say, sort of, how did you get into acting? What was your first experience?
Well, I started on stage in the theater. I was doing theater. I started when I was 10, and I was doing theater, and that branched off into film and television and commercials and radio, and then voiceover was kind of the last thing that I got into. Along the way, though, not only was I an actor, but I was also a director, producer, writer, and so I continue to do all those things. I just that's why it's so odd to me when people don't know what they want to do in life, because I've always known. And when people don't have an idea of what sucks them in, and don't have an idea of their passion, in a way it kind of makes me sad for them, because I'm like, man, I hope you find it so you can start like doing it right now and start getting the best you can be at it. So that's what I always wish for everybody, is that they find their passion and that they're able to pursue it. Like, I've been very fortunate enough to pursue mine, and it was not a solo adventure. I mean, it's taken, no one gets to where they're at by themselves. I mean, it really is. It takes, it's a collective effort from everyone in your life, family, coworkers, friends, everything. And I'm so eternally grateful for everyone that has helped me, and the circumstances that have led to where I'm at now.
Do you miss the theatre, or do you get time to do
I don't. I only get to see it now. I do miss it. It's. I've had producers approach me about shows, but I just can't take the time off. I mean, it's it's a 4 or 5 week rehearsal process. Even if they truncate it down to 2 weeks, that's still 2 weeks of time to rehearse, and then you're going to do the show for 4 or 5 weeks at least. It's a lot of commitment. I just don't have the time. Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, the theater, it's been around for a bit, so I bet you it'll still be around when I'm older. So yeah, absolutely.
So I think we actually met in Birmingham.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try not to repeat the questions I asked you. You've been in Naruto and Bleach. Do you
Yeah.
have a preference?
Well, I always feel like with those long-running shows that they didn't even know they would go that long. So then when they get that long, they're like, what do we do? And so that's the real challenge for them, is to figure out how to keep a show going and keep it interesting. There are some filler episodes. I mean, you can spot them. But I just like being a part of those shows that have really such a legacy. I mean, Bleach, they did that show for like 11 years. And I was there for the last episode too, and have a picture of the last script. And then Naruto's still going. They've been doing Naruto for like 14 years. That's amazing to me. I mean, we've been doing Fairy Tail for 4, but 4's a long time. But I mean, 14 years on a show, man. I would love to. Hey, listen, I would love to do Fairy Tail for 14 years. We'll see what happens, but it's cool to be a part of those shows for sure. Yeah, both. All of them.
Do you have any anime that you really like to watch?
I don't really watch a whole lot of anything, actually, which is odd because you'd think in the industry I'd be watching stuff all the time. I'm working all the time, which is, I'm not complaining at all. Like, I'm just always recording or traveling for a gig or on camera or writing or doing some sound design or working. So I don't really get to see stuff. I mean, I when I have time, I mean, I really liked watching Vampire Hunter D. Bloodlust was cool. Techno Man. Voltron's horrible, but I did watch it. I mean, it's just like, when I was a kid, I was like, I love Voltron. You go back and watch it now, you're like, holy shit, this show is bad. But I mean, oh my God, do it. Make a drinking game out of it. All the actors are, hey, listen, Peter Cullen, awesome. But man, that show, it's like one of those shows. Like, I think all shows when you're a kid, you think they're awesome. And then when you get older, you're like Thundercats. Thundercats is horrible. I went back and watched that show. I was like, oh my God, I loved this show when I was a kid. Man, bull. But hey, to be a part of those shows is awesome. But I think it's just like, the reason I think they're bad is because those shows are not made for me. They're made for kids. So kids love them. But like, when you're looking at them with adult eyes as like a dad, now it's like, no. But they're fun. They're fun. They're just bad fun. Yeah.
You've done a lot of voiceover for sort of games.
Yeah.
Basically, like Call of Duty, for example. What does that consist of? Where do you go? Do you go to like just a recording studio to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, you go to there are various there's a ton of recording studios in LA, and you go to one of the studios that is working on the game. And typically, if it's a video game, you won't see anything from the game. You may see your character design, but you will then, it's a spreadsheet of lines. And so they're broken down into like scene activated lines, reactions, deaths, etc. And then you just go through, and so you're not seeing anything but a spreadsheet, and so it takes a lot of focus and your own imagination to create the scenario, and it takes a good director to build that world with you, so that you're doing the best that you can for when they put it to graphic.
There's so many animated films, but I mean, how are you working on anything at the moment? Any games? Or?
Oh yeah, no, I just I'm about to go in for another game next week. I just did a game, and then I was doing more Fairy Tail, Monster High. God, we're about to go film some more Star Trek Continues in about 2 weeks. And so there's a lot going on. Which is great. I mean, that's the way I prefer it. I prefer to be busy, and so I've had this kind of crazy schedule for like 15 years.
Can you share with us which game you're working on at the moment, or
Um,
under the hat?
that is definitely not something I can say. Because also they give these games code names.
Do they?
So like the game, you'll go in and the game's, I had to sneeze. You go in for a game like Street Fighter, but the game's called something like Trash Can. Like they just code name these games. So, I know the games that I'm working on, but I can't say, unfortunately. Yeah.
You've done quite a bit of writing and directing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer that to voice acting?
They all serve a different part of me, but I prefer acting the most. That's my favorite. Directing is fun. I like doing that. That's depending on the medium. Like film is more of a director's medium. Theater is an actor's medium. Voiceover is an actor's medium, and an animator's medium. So it's like it's those things service different parts of me. Writing, I like doing. I'm not as disciplined as I'd like to be with it. I write when I'm inspired. So when I'm inspired, I'll sit down and write a whole movie. But if I'm not inspired, it takes a lot to get me to. Just because I'm working on other things, But I have a lot of ideas. Every time I get an idea for a new script or something, I write it down. So I have a note app in my phone. It's got pages of ideas, and so I can just go and pick one and then do a little bit on it. So we'll see. I mean, I have this project that I want to work on that I had one of the writers on the new Thunderbirds. He was kind of he was working with me on it, and he was kind of I guess you'd call him the head writer on it. And so we contracted all these writers to write all the episodes of this project I want to work on, and he wrote on it, and he went through and he proofed it and everything. So it was a really cool experience to get him to work on that. We went to college together, and so he's excited about it. I'm excited about it. It's just finding the time to do it. Yeah.
Random one. If you were to steal Doctor Who's TARDIS, where would you travel to?
Oh. Let's see. Definitely the future. I'd want to see what happens at the end of my road. And then I'd like to go to the past to see like what landmarks that we have now were like in their infancy. To see that. And this definitely other planets, for sure.
How do you see the film industry and TV industry really in years to come with all the technology that's coming up?
Man, I wonder. It's we're getting to a place where consumers can go and get the best gear, but it's still at the end of the day, you have to be skilled and talented with it. You can have the best camera in the world, but if you don't know how to use it, and you don't know how to do lighting, and you don't know what lenses to use, it's a waste. We'll see what happens. I'm a little worried about where the computer-generated imagery is going, because I don't want it to get to a place where they're like, oh, well, we don't need Daniel Day-Lewis to come in. We'll create him, and then we'll just get a voice match for him if we can't get him. Like, that would not be cool to me. That would be inauthentic, I feel like. I hope it doesn't come to that place, because I like doing what I do and getting on the set. And even though it's 15 hours of being on set and you're only going to shoot for 5 minutes, I mean, still, that's what I love doing. So I hope they don't take that away from us. So we'll see. Yeah.
We're done? Okay.
All right.
If it is agreeable to you,